which is just across the river from Philadelphia. So we, our home port is on the Delaware River, and we take people out for little 2-hour cruises to kind of fund our program, where we do take kids like you out several times a year from the local area there to teach them about the river and about boats and so forth. So that's our purpose in life. Yes?
Are we going somewhere?
No, we're just sitting right here. Okay? Like,
Can't go
yeah, I know. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. So
It's gonna be on Friday.
so the North Wind. This is made out of steel. It's a steel schooner. It was built. When was it built?
1995.
1995.
It's a replica boat.
Not that old. But like you're going to see a lot of schooners here. We're not quite as spit and polished as some of the other ones, but she's ours, so we like it. And so we have a program today for you, which is called "What Floats Our Boat." Okay, because some things float and some things don't float, right?
Yeah.
So, like, what are some things that float? Well, this is a picture of us. We float, and this is a block of wood. What are other things that float? That you think
A
of?
pineapple.
Pineapple floats.
What?
Yeah.
a watermelon.
Sponge, right? All those things float.
Coconut.
Okay. And some things sink, right?
Yeah. Like
So,
a rock.
like, this is a rock. Throw a
A
rock in
rock
the
can't
water, it's
float.
gonna sink. This is an anchor.
Anchor, yeah.
The
that's
whole
gonna-
person
I know
in
what.
the
I know
water
another
sinks.
thing.
What's that? Titanic sunk. That's a good thing. Yeah, not good. Okay. And like, mostly if you think of like steel is like heavy metal and so forth.
But that's
Usually, what do you think? If you throw steel in the water, what's going to happen to it?
If it has a box.
Yeah. But this boat's made of steel.
It's steel.
We're on top of the water. And then there's some things that are in between that kind of just like, they don't sink, they don't float.
They're like.
Submarines are like that. They actually can control where they are. Fish do the same thing. They don't sink, they don't. Right. So why is that? Okay.
The meg.
So basically, we have two forces going on. We got the force of gravity. Everybody's heard of force of gravity, right? It's what keeps the Earth, traveling around the sun, and it also what keeps all of us stuck to the surface of the Earth. Because we weigh something, there's a force of gravity that pulls us down. And that's the same thing with things you throw in the water. There's that gravity. That gravity will pull things down. Yes.
So we're like glue in the world of like a big paper mache thingamabobber.
I'm not gonna do that.
Thingamabobber.
But we have this other force. Okay, there's another force in the water, and it's called buoyancy. Okay,
I've heard of that.
you've heard of that? So it's an upward force. It's pushing up, and it's by a fluid, and it's based on how much weight is displaced of that fluid. Now, that's a lot of words here. What does all that mean? So if you think about it, I have a little picture here of a graduated cylinder, it's called, and it has some water in it at a certain level. And if I take a rock, something that sinks, and drop it in here, the water goes up because that rock takes up some of the volume and it displaces the water. And it displaced, in this case, about 20 milliliters of water or something. So actually that water is pushing up on that rock even though it's sinking, and is pushing up on it by the weight of the water that was displaced. However, in this case, the rock weighs more than the weight of that water, and therefore it sinks. But that's not the case with everything. So if we look at like a solid block of wood, here's a picture of one that weighs 50 pounds, but we know that wood generally floats, okay? And if we put that 50 pound of wood in the water, it would sink down somewhat, but a little bit would stick up, because the amount of volume that's displaced is a certain weight, and that amount is 50 pounds, and as soon as it reaches 50 pounds, the rest of it could stick up there, because everything is harmonized. If we had a hollow block, okay, so not a solid block of wood, but more like a box, it weighs 10 pounds. Okay, in this case, it weighs a whole lot less, so even though it's the exact same size, it's going to not sink so much in the water. And the amount of water it displaces weighs that 10 pounds. Or we have like a block of foam or something like that, which is very, very light. Hold the question. And that can actually just sit on top of the water, not displacing anything, because it actually displaces a little bit, but it's not a whole lot. Okay, what was your question?
My question was, if the foam was on the water and there was like heavy wind, would it blow off the water?
Yeah, it could blow off. Okay, so we're going to do a few little experiment type of things here. It's going to be Mr. Stein. So one of them we'll do this. This is like Play-Doh. Okay.
It is.
If you had a ball of Play-Doh and you blop it in some water, it will sink. We'll show that. But if you take the same Play-Doh, the same weight of stuff, and you shape it into a bigger surface area such that it displaces more water, it can actually float. So the same weight will float or sink depending on the shape, because it depends on how much water we're displacing. That's the whole bit about why boats float. Now the Play-Doh is one thing we can do with it, but we're going to do other things that's kind of fun. Okay, so what do we have here?
Clementine.
It's a clement. It's type of orange.
Are we
It's a
gonna be able to
clementine.
eat one?
Well, okay. So, is it going to float or it's going to sink? It's not an easy question. What do you think? I want to tell you. I want to see hands.
How many
gonna
think float?
I believe in you.
I believe
I'm not saying anything. How many think it's going to sink?
I believe.
Okay, let's see. Okay, this is an experiment. Okay, I'm a scientist, by the way, so I do this experiment. So, float.
I believe in team float.
It floats. And why does it float? Okay, again, the volume of the water displaced is equaling the weight of the whole thing. So it floats, okay?
I can't see it.
So the weight matters. Now, the question is, how do we eat this thing? We peel it, don't we?
I don't know. You're gonna eat the thing?
You guys gotta eat it.
It's an experiment. Watch what he does.
Okay, so
He's gonna eat it.
okay. Now we have a peeled clementine. Does this weigh more or less than when it was all
Less.
together?
Less.
So do we think it's going to sink?
It's gonna sink.
It's gonna sink. I think it's gonna sink. Because it has holes.
Okay, so why is it going to sink if it weighs less?
Because it has openings and the water will get in.
You're not gonna get tan.
Displacement.
Okay, but actually, see, it's going to be a smaller volume because with the peel, it actually has a little bigger volume. So we will see that it
Yes, I do.
sinks. Sort of sinks.
It's like
Sort of.
Sink.
Sink.
in the
Sink.
middle. Yeah.
Anyhow.
He didn't say he was a good scientist.
It's a submarine.
It's a submarine, so this one's in between. Yeah, that's a natural submarine.
Awesome.
If anybody wants to,
Oh, crazy.
why don't you pass it around?
Oh, no.
Come on. Anybody?
Let's see if you float when you eat it.
Wait.
Share it with people.
I wanted it.
Just to wash it.
So, and again, I promised the same thing here with the
I want an orange.
Play-Doh.
Nice.
Yay, play
No, I need it for other kids too.
We can eat it.
I want it. Who wants one?
Okay.
You can
So-
keep it. I don't want it. I want one.
So here's the Play-Doh.
I want one.
Okay, I'll eat it.
I'm gonna drop it in the
Eat
water,
it.
but this
Give
is
me
the
one
same
more
thing.
sometime.
You have the
Okay,
Play-Doh.
kids.
All right, guys,
This is
listen.
scientist.
You have the Play-Doh.
He's a scientist.
And why don't you trust me that if you drop it in the water, it's going to sink? If I do, it gets kind of flying.
Eat it. Eat it.
Okay, so this would normally sink.
If you drop it, it's
Actually,
gonna
we'll drop it.
turn
Here,
flat.
let's
That's using different
two. Yeah, just because. So
submachine.
let's make two that are the same size here, so we can.
Could we keep some of the Play-Doh?
Don't eat the
Keep eating this,
Play-Doh.
learn. You can keep all the
They say
knowledge
eat,
you
they say
learned
keep.
today.
But you know they're gonna eat it.
Okay. Think about the same size.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
So what we say? It's going to sink.
Thanks.
It's
Sink.
Okay. Now
It does, I
this
don't
is
know
the whole
what it
thing.
is.
Now we got to make a.
like a blob.
No, we're going to make a boat. This is
The
why. This
white
is just a nice
blob.
little thing that I can
mold.
mold around. A shapery thing, which is not working that well.
Make sure there's
It's
not a
gonna
hole in the boat.
dry
I
off.
hope there's not a hole in the boat.
We do have a hole in the boat?
Not this boat. In his boat that he's trying to make.
We're not gonna have
He's making a boat.
We're taking a boat.
It's a bush.
Same size. It's all was all the same. Both were the same size, right?
Both are the same size.
Now he's
Same
making
same
the
weight
boat
of Play-Doh
to
here.
displace the water.
It fell.
But
Oh,
is it-
I got.
So is it going to float or is it going to sink this time?
Sink.
I don't know.
Sink.
But the problem is I'm not that good a boat maker, so you don't never know.
It's gonna
I
sink.
can make one.
I feel
like I
might sing, but
It's
I
going
believe
in
in you.
Yeah, no.
We need some
Gotta
flexi
leak it
over
already.
there.
I believe in you. It's gonna sink. Come on. It's gonna sink. It's gonna sink.
Gonna be your brother.
I believe in you.
There it goes!
It's the iceberg.
Awesome! You're a great boat maker.
There you go.
Don't eat the Play-Doh, children.
I'm gonna go over.
Okay, so that's the whole concept of
Woohoo!